Would you rather look at these red and yellow flowers that look so pretty and so gorgeous, rather look at these dead leaves on the ground? Let me tell you, I've been to 26 or 27 different countries, and one thing that I learned that carries over across all of these countries is that image is very, very important. Regardless what you may think about Korea, Korea is still a country that is opening up. So a lot of Koreans don't have a lot of hands-on experience with foreigners in their daily lives. In this video, I want to talk about how foreigners can protect their image here in Korea and to always keep themselves looking like roses instead of looking like the dead leaves. Get away from this. I'm trying to find myself in this difficult world. Gotta be motivated, gotta be loved, and needed. That's what I'm thinking about. I need my space, my life, and I'm made it now. I did all that running and I still missed the train. Yeah, but I've been living in Seoul for, I don't know, 11 years, in Korea for 13 years. So I've seen a lot of foreigners come and go. With that means that I've also seen a lot of foreigners come into Korea and abuse the system. In Korea, if you're a foreigner, sometimes it can be really, really difficult to get like simple things like a phone or a bank account. It may seem simple for you to get if you're in your home country, but in Korea, you have to go through like so many forms and red tape. But once you pass all of the processes to get the thing that you want, then life is easy. And today was a holiday. I should have just stayed at home instead of making students go to school today. Check this out. There's this girl that I knew back when I first arrived in Korea. She stayed near my town, and she used to say like a lot of wild stuff. Some things that I thought were super ridiculous, but I was trying to date her. So I was just like, okay, you can say whatever you want as long as you know. That's young Francois talking. Like after growing up, I stopped, simping for girls, just because, they could provide me with something. Yeah, so the wild things that this girl was saying, man, it was crazy. It was like she came to Korea and she enjoyed being here, but she only really wanted to be here, to like party and to, save a little bit of money and go back home and, do her things. It's super hot out here. Let me go home and change clothes and continue this topic in a bit. All right, so this girl, I don't know what was her problem, but she had like no respect for Korea. She was just like, yeah, Koreans do this, Koreans do that. I don't like the way Koreans do this because like in America, we live like this and, we do things like that. And I'm like, you're in Korea, like what the hell do you expect? Not only that, she came to Korea and she didn't even like Korean food. Like every chance she got, she's like, let's go to a Western restaurant, or let's go, eat at my house, or why don't you cook something because I really don't like Korean food. I'm like, didn't you research where you're gonna live before you came here? I don't want to keep beating around the bush, but this girl, she left Korea and she didn't pay like any of her bills before she left. And Korea has like this really strict policy where if you're a foreigner and you leave the country without paying your bills, you get blacklisted. Like your passport gets put on a list and you can't come back to Korea until all of those bills are paid off. The whole thing is that like Koreans already have some, well, I don't want to say like Koreans, but some Koreans, because I don't know all Koreans, but there's like a really big stereotype about foreigners who come to Korea. It's not that Koreans don't really like foreigners in their country, but Korea is still a very closed country. It's a very ethnic country. So like multiculturalism and things like that, it's being accepted, but it's not very popular. It's thirsty, I gotta get me something to drink. Stop at this cafe really quickly. Well, I don't want to say like Koreans don't accept multiculturalism. That's not true. What I want to say is like at that time, foreigners were beginning to come into Korea like en masse. The older generation was still kind of, young at that time. The older generation now was still young at that time. Their view of foreigners was kind of like standoffish. So it's like, why would you want to do anything to further tarnish the reputation of foreigners who are coming to the country, at the time you're coming, and for the foreigners who will come in the future? This girl told me, Francois, I just bought this phone and I'm just gonna take it with me when I go back to the United States. And I'm not gonna pay my gas bill, I'm not gonna pay my light bill. I can't really tell her, not to do that. I can't tell her how to live her life. Why would you think that being in another country, especially a country like Korea that's very mono-ethnic, why would you think that anything that you do is not like super focused on? It's like, it's not magnified. Like, you have to be very careful with how you present your image in Korea, especially as a foreigner. I think living in Korea as a foreigner is really enjoyable. Like, I'm having the time of my life living here. I always labor under the assumption that everything that I do is heavily scrutinized because it's such a mono-ethnic country. Korea seems like it's a really, international country because of the, K-pop or K-dramas that are being exported to, many different countries. But Korea is still very insular country. It's very closed off to the rest of the world as far as culture is concerned, because it just doesn't have that many foreigners in this country compared to its general Korean population. Okay, my lemonade came, my croffle came. Front was so nice, like my headphones popped out of my pocket and just brought it up to me. Like, love Korea. Yo, let me tell you guys something. Don't come to Korea in the summertime. It's super humid here. So good. Sorry guys. Korea is very mono-ethnic and monocultural at that. America and France, totally different. People who are different, people who are foreigners can come in, can bring their own culture. For the most part, it can mix. Foreign culture and American culture can mix, and it can make this huge fusion of culture that will be accepted, I think, basically everywhere you go. Maybe some pockets are different, but here in Korea, it's like everyone comes to Korea and it's become not Korean, but you have to fit into Korean society. I always use this this saying from Japanese culture because I think that it applies to Korea as well. It's like the nail that sticks out gets hammered. So it's in Korea, you gotta try to fit in, even though it's changing a bit these days. I'm the first African American to ever work at the university where I teach here in Korea. I understand that even though they haven't said anything, like my bosses or the school's president, or no one has said anything about my ethnicity, there's kind of an unspoken rule that I know that I should follow. It's Francois, especially, I always tell myself this even when I'm traveling, because as much as I don't like the concept of race, I know that it's a pseudoscience. Many people in the world still live by this concept, so I try my best to kind of fit into the mold where I can. It's especially here in Korea and at my job, it's Francois, you're the first African American to ever work at that school, and you're a foreigner. So it's you have to be doubly, sometimes, triply, if I could say, on your guard. And you have to make sure that, everything that you do is on point. Whatever I do is very heavily scrutinized. So when I heard that foreigners are coming into Korea and they're bringing drugs into this country, they're bringing marijuana or they're bringing edibles into this country, my demeanor changes. As a foreigner, or as I guess living in Korea, I enjoy so many different benefits. I can walk at night alone, being safe. I can leave my bag as a placeholder, or I can even leave my phone as a placeholder when I go to a restaurant that's very crowded. I can do bank transactions very quickly. There's just an abundance of benefits living here in Seoul, living in Korea, as compared to America or other countries. So it's why would you bring drugs into this country? Why would you want to do anything to harm the reputation of foreigners in this country to make it more difficult for us to live here? Korea is already incredibly difficult, a difficult country to get a visa. It's so difficult to get a visa here. If you get a visa and you're living in Korea, you're blessed beyond all means, because I've heard horror stories of people in Southeast Asia or even in Mongolia trying to get a visa to live here in Korea, but they just can't get it. Okay, the point of this video is not to tell you that you can come to Korea and not be yourself. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying that you should come to Korea and have respect for Korean culture, Korean society, and how things work. Just because you come from America, which is considered the greatest country in the world, or you come from a Western country and you do things differently over there, don't think that you can come to Korea and do the same thing here as you do there, especially if you're going to disrespect Korea. I just did a video about Japan and how there are these rumors on YouTube circulating how Japan is wanting black men to come and impregnate their women. So I guess we can use Japan as an example again. But in Japan, there's a big problem with Kyoto. So many foreigners are going to Kyoto, and there's a certain alley in Kyoto where people actually live. Kyoto residents are living their daily lives, but foreigners, tourists, whatever you want to call them, are going down that street and they're taking pictures are taking photos and videos of the people who are actually like living their daily lives. And you know, they're not asking for their permission. They're just, you know, thinking, oh, I'm here, I'm a foreigner, I'm a tourist, I can do whatever I want here in Japan because, you know, that's the way I operate in my home country. Well, maybe they're not, you know, saying that. You know, I'm being facetious, but, you know, they're coming to Japan, and now Japan, especially the Kyoto city, they're banning tourists from coming down that street. Or it may actually be, although it's not, they're not banning tourists from coming to Kyoto, but they definitely are banning tourists from going down that street because it's a very popular street where there are many, I think, geishas and, you know, other like traditional Japanese houses and things like that. But foreigners are being disrespectful, so they're kicking them out. And I'll never be Korean. I'll never fit 100% into this society, and I don't think I need to. I'm not trying to be Korean, but I'm just trying to, you know, live life the best I can as a foreigner in this country. But I do have some responsibility to this country to protect it in the best way that I can because I live here. It really gets on my nerves when I see a lot of foreigners coming to Korea and they're disrespecting it, you know, bringing drugs. I'm walking in this beautiful park. There's an elderly guy over there. He's swinging. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, he's swinging on the swing. There's a guy over here, right over there, just sitting, you know, relaxing, playing on his smartphone. The children over here are just playing in the park. I think their mom is right there, or maybe they're unsupervised. Who knows? It's Korea. People over here playing baseball. I mean, you can see this in America too. Getting on a point that in Korea, there are so many benefits that we enjoy as foreigners living in this country. So why would you want to mess that up? Like if you're coming to Korea, if you're already living in Korea, like respect Korea. Korea has been very good to me. Korea, I'm sure, is going to be good to you if you're living here. Of course, Korea is not perfect. This is not, you know, a utopian society. There are problems here. There are issues here that I could speak about, but I don't think I will because I don't know if I understand them completely. But the purpose of my channel is not to explain like the problems of Korea in detail. Like, I'm sure there are other channels that can do that. But if you're a foreigner, if you're watching this video, if you're living here, you know, or if you're planning to come to Korea, then just respect it. Treat Korea as, no, don't treat Korea as you would your own country. Come to Korea, respect Korean laws, respect Korean rules. Regardless of what you think, because of how you act, Koreans are gonna either consider you as the rose or they're gonna consider you as the dry leaves. That could be the case for all countries, all people around the world. Just please pay attention to your image. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, but love you guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Hope you got some value from it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Yo, a lot of people have been watching my videos, but you're not hitting the like button. Help me out, help a brother out. Hit the like button. You don't even have to subscribe, just hit the like button, help me out. All right, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, peace. Oh, love you. Stay hydrated. Peace. Almost forgot my outro. Yo, can't be forgetting about that. That's my bread and butter.